what is yourself. Definition of yourself, true self, real self, inner self, higher self. How to connect with your higher self. As human beings, we experience life in this material world. We experience this material body-mind that we find ourselves in, where everything is run from the mind. The mind runs everything. As long as we think of ourselves as this body-mind living in this material world around us, mind runs everything. Everything has a cause and effect. Everything has a start and the end. Everything is defined, but what happened beforehand? Everything. It's like a prison. And yet, this body-mind is actually just a contraption. It's just a machine that is run by a very, very good computer system. Brain. The workings of the brain is the mind, the thoughts. It runs perfectly. The whole body-mind is constructed exquisitely. But as long as we follow it, as long as we lead and live our lives from our mind, we are trapped in it. We are absolutely trapped. We are absolute prisoners. Every good is always followed or connected with the bad. Every good time is connected with the bad time. Every happiness is connected with unhappiness. Bliss with sorrow and disappointment. And so it goes up and down till it all sort of ends. The body ends. The body-mind ends. It exists for a very short period of time. But you see, this body-mind, this contraption is not alive by itself. If the life is not in it, and the life, what is life in it is your real self, your true self, inner self, higher self, the soul. The life is the soul. If there is no soul in it, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't think, it doesn't move, it doesn't laugh, it doesn't do anything at all. It's just a corpse. It's just a machine that it is. It is the soul, the inner self, the true self, the higher self that gives it life. So while being in this, experiencing this body, mind, and this material world that we cannot escape, we do experience it because we have the brain, we have the mind. It's a consequence of the workings of the brain. We are sort of trapped in it, but we are often not aware of another thing that's inside us. This is our real self, true self, inner self, higher self, a soul, that it's actually running the show. We put ourselves, we place ourselves in our mind, and we become the slaves of our mind, when in reality it is the soul, the inner self, that runs the show. It is the soul that gives life to this contraption of body-mind, that gives life to the brain and everything else. It is the soul. And if we place ourselves in the soul, in our true self, inner self, higher self, if we connect with our higher self and we place ourselves there, then we are in a really, really good position. Then we are in charge of everything. We're in charge of the mind. We are in charge of the bodily contraption. We are in charge of everything that's happening. We are in charge when we operate not from the mind, but from the soul, from our inner true self. So this is really what we need to do. In contrast with what they teach us and what they are convincing us from the moment we come to this material world, to this world that we experience, that everything is outside, that everything is material, that everything is this contraption, body, mind, that there is nothing else, that we're born and that we die, and so on and so on. A total trap, a total prison, a total imprisonment. And they are convincing us all our lives, and then we, helped by that, we convince ourselves that there is nothing else but this, and we are so mistaken, and we almost miss out totally on the real thing, which is the real self, inner self, higher self, true self, the soul. We almost miss out on the soul. We almost miss out on the existence of the soul. But once we connect with it, once we start operating our life from the soul instead of from the mind, wow. I mean, everything becomes totally different. The prison is gone, the imprisonment is gone, the entrapment is gone. The understanding of the real you, real self, real life, what really is and how it really everything operates, changes everything, and everything opens up. I cannot really describe to you with words, the changes that occur in your life, in the experience of your everyday life, in the experience of yourself. Not as body-mind anymore, not as a prisoner of this trap of the material world and material body-mind, but as a soul, as your true self, real self, inner self. You just need to connect with it. And it is not difficult. Not difficult at all. I'll leave you with this for today. Cheers to the soul. Take care. Bye-bye.